Hello, greetings, engineers. Welcome back to our continuing episodes of server survival. We've already escaped Titan, and we are still working on our capstone ship. Let's take a look around the outside. Okay. Looks like we are building a spoiler. That'll be interesting to see how that turns out. This is a Miranda variant from Star Trek, so that'll be interesting to see how that spoiler turns out with the rest of the ship. Our back end of the hull isn't really the same as most other Mirandas, but that's part of the iterative process. So we'll see how that goes. And it looks like we've got another ship building off over there too, so that'll be interesting. But there we go. That is our ship so far. I believe we were going to work on the transporter bay today. Looks like the front end of the ship was being sealed up there. So let's go take a look at what we've got on the inside here. Just go back downstairs. Transporter bay will be off this way. So we've got nothing in here so far. This is where I'm going to want to put the transporter bay. And then we want to think of what we want in here. And we'll start laying out some floor. I'm thinking we'll pull it this way. That way I have more verticality to work with. So this will be the primary focus. We'll get this plate laid in first. That way we have something to work with. That back wall, or that side wall rather, will be fine. I'll need to do something over here. And I'm thinking if we use some of the different sci-fi colors that we have, that should work out for us. Not going to worry about putting down plates over here, because if anything, that'll be more wall coming in. So with anything, we would probably use some more of these guys. We'll grab our wall color. We'll just put these down for here. Okay, so what I'm thinking of is like the old school transporter. So you've got to stand on a pad and then have some stuff around. So maybe just the one would be decent. So if that's the case, then like so. We could have like a vertical wall. What do you look like normal? I mean, that's not bad either. That, and then that way it's just like a small thing that you can stand into. And the idea here is that one, you'll stand in the middle and it'll be like a little transporter pad. I can have a projector project a block on top of you that makes it look like the transporter beam. And then down there too, I want a welder to kill you, or maybe a couple. And that's so that you can actually die when you hop on the transporter and then go elsewhere. And I'll have, I guess, a button panel for the actual transport operations over here. And that way you can turn off. I'm going to have a survival kit immediately above it, and hopefully that'll respawn you in here. And that way, when you come onto the ship, you're respawned and are deposited here. And then I need a sensor underneath as well to turn on that beam while you're standing on it. I think that will work. So we want a little more height. Then I need to put a survival kit in there. Hopefully it'll respawn you down. If not, then these need to be full blocks. I don't know if that was actually setting up here the right way. If that's the case, let's do... I'll probably have to repaint these later. Yeah, that wasn't setting up here the right way, so now it is sitting up there. Because we're not a station, when I cut that off, that survival kit was just free floating up there, and that's not what you want. And then in the center, I'll put a gray cap at the moment. Or should I probably change the floor to something else too. Take a look at you. You're going to go in there, but I want you... Silver will work. We'll place that down. Because that's where you're going to stand. So that'll indicate where you're supposed to be at for the transporter too. And it's right above the survival kit. I think that'll work. I'm going to draw this room out just a bit more. That way I have a place for the transporter operation. Here should be okay. Like you come in, and then you can walk over to the transporter. I think that works. Because otherwise you could come in and then take a step back and you're behind the controls. So here should be good for some controls, maybe even a screen or something. I could put the transparent LCD in here too. And that way I've got a little bit more of a console-looking thing. Let's go to buttons. Widescreen, transparent LCD. I could just put here. And I think that'll be okay, too. I don't care for those horizontal lines. I want everything to look vertical. But these even aren't vertical, which is sad. This is okay, but not that. Let's see. I don't know how to change that either. Yeah, see, you're vertical there, but you're not going to stay that way, are you? No, you just flipped on me. I wonder if that has something to do with the orientation of the grid itself. Because there I've got a nice vertical pattern. And there's a good vertical pattern too. That should definitely be obvious then. That is definitely obvious. We painted the LCD again. There we go. Or the neon light again. So that is distinguishable. But these are not. That should be. I guess it's just dark enough to be not super visible. That's a little more distinguished. I'll go with that for now. So we have the floor, which is obviously not the transporter, and then that beam that is, that piece right here that is. What about our other cap? That's our piston cap. I don't mind that. You look more like a manhole, or a manhole cover. I mean, that could work too. That looks pretty interesting to stand on, and you can just walk on top of it. I think it's a little more obvious. Let's see where we respawn from this right now. The med bay is what is going to turn off whenever we use a transporter, so that way we do not respawn there. And then this is our only respawn currently. We'll do this number. And then I should respawn right here. Well, I wanted to respawn the other way, but that worked. Let's try it one more time. Because as long as I'm not respawning on like the edges of this room, and I'm respawning immediately in front of that survival kit, that's fine. That's fine. I'm okay with this. So I think that works all right. If anything, I might need to flip the respawn kit so it's facing another direction. But I like that so far. And if that's going to be the case, then we need to weld up a couple of these guys. No, we don't actually, because this is going to be the wall. It'll be a smaller room. We don't need these at all, because when I put an adjacent block there, that will be what goes there, which means I'll take this, and then I can be cheap. I'll actually use the plate, because we're using the weldless. It doesn't have a texture. And then we can take the plate here. Means that block is not going to be good unless I go all the way up to the ceiling. We'll see. We'll just keep that in mind. Oh, I want... That'll be fine there. And then I want, like, a timer block go on and off. Let's get some timer blocks. I could put a server room in here for it. And that way it looks like it's got a lot more to do with the transporters. So let's do that. That'll twist me out and back. Then we want timers. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's visible or not. But I could do that, which kind of blocks off the area a bit, and then we can put like a pseudo door for you. And I think we have a support beam coming across here. Yes, actually, right there is where we have that support beam, which is unfortunate because I would want that beam being nice and low. Actually, that could be okay. But I did want this to be more grand, to be seen from here as more grand. But if I cut that off, I mean, I could always rearrange the room, or just ignore that I have this beam here. That doesn't have to be visible. Let's see. This is 3 blocks wide, which means I could put it outside against the hole or inside here. And it should be fine either way. Yeah, let's make this work. Then I can just take it down and do it all again. Let's make it look right before we make it work. It's going to be half, and a half, half. Then we wanted the same guy here and here. And then we went to heavy. There. Block, and then that survival kit is going to go in here. Let's flip the survival kit this way and see if that matters which way you have to spawn for it. So if this were here, that would curve me up, and I could get the kind of grandness that I want. I could put a tiny neon here. Make our high-speed piston cap. I think that's what we had before. This looks fine there. I can put more sci-fi wall. I almost want the door to be in that hallway then. Which means I can get rid of clown face on one of those. I don't really want you to walk around the transporter control, and I don't want the hallway to have my timer blocks and stuff. So controls will have to be over here, which would mean the door would have to be over there. It would probably be either of those two, which means I'm about to vent the ship again. How about we do this first? Let's weld this up. Actually, let's do... You're online. So if I do my medical room off, and then backspace. Hey, and I even respond looking the right way. That's what I want to see. Yeah. Go there. That's 1, 2, 3, and I can have this be a light. There. And then we'll pull this across. That should be all I need, because this will be white wall here. Let's leave myself some space. How about that? The sci-fi button panel. Yeah. And then that. I think I wanted 3, 1 to do the... yeah, 1 for turning it on to respawn here only. And then another 1 to get off the ship. There we go. Which means that light is actually buried in there. I mean, I could push this over 1 more. I could push the whole thing over 1 more. Let's do that. Let's push the whole thing over 1 more. I mean, that should work for me. That'll make the interior airtight. Both sides there. That won't be the worst. That looks pretty decent. And we're filling with air, which is also excellent. Nice lit transporter bay. Got nothing coming down the side here, because this is that beam that comes through. I mean, this right here is technically that same black beam. This guy coming through, too. Right? Yeah, you are. So I should reciprocate all of that as well. You won't see it from the hallway, but you will see it elsewhere. I mean, that looks okay. And if that's... I mean, this light is more than enough, but if that's the case, then there should be another light in here to light the room. Which really means I could gouge that out. I don't need this one. I can gouge this guy. What if I just put these 2 lights right here? You and... you. Right. You get to be a panel piece, and you get to be a panel piece too. Like that. There we go. I'm liking that. That looks good. Could probably even put like little bits of cargo or something in here. for folks that are taking things on and off the ship. But first I want to work these guys out. So let's get set in here with some timer blocks. And then I need another timer for to ready the room itself, which would mean it would turn on welders down there. And the sensor. Oh, that's right, I need the sensor to go immediately under here so that it can sense when something is right there. The sensor I want to go centered on it as much as possible, which means let's vent the ship. There, is this my... That's the one, over there. Damn it. So I'm going to break that cap. Oh well, I'll just have to break the cap then. You have to be the cube. Now I gotta take you down, because you're in the way. You go there. You go back to the half block. You're here, you're here. Oh, I hope a welder cooks that well enough. Yeah. I don't know about that. Let's see here now. Let's get this. I want you pointed right there where that... It goes there, it'll be pointed in appropriately. Otherwise, that might not reach deep enough. So, really, I need to grind these two out. And all of you, because you're useless PCU. And I needed this welder here, because I think that'll penetrate more deeply into the ship, the transporter room, rather. Turn you on. So that, I think that just welded up my sensor. I think you had better check your sensors. Did not. Let's come out. Connection problem. I am glad I am almost done with this ship, because the server lag is definitely difficult to deal with.
How in the world did you build anything that large with all this much lag?
I tell you, it's definitely been
It
trying.
reminds me of the early days.
Yeah, no kidding. It's definitely been trying.
Just flying back, going back to get parts and coming back, and I'm like, oop, oh, now I'm back where I started from, and I try to fly around the ship, and it starts me on the other side of the ship. Damn, I'm not getting anywhere fast.
Yeah, I've been doing it very little bit at a time. The server lag seems to be getting worse. And I can only imagine that's because, like, when I first started, there was only the normal population. But I imagine by now, everyone's figured out that this is where Splitsy's doing his thing. So you've got, like, the server's always full, almost now. And you've got, like, a lot of grids all over the place. That's why I've been trying to stay away from the alien planet where he's doing his event. But there's just so much stuff going on the server, and I bet it's just choking.
Energy low.
Yeah, that welder can't reach it. We need components. So if I stand here, I'm not going to die. I'm not going to die here either. Is that welder on? It is on, it just won't reach. Dang. Or am I too high? Is this... Should be standing at this lower... Okay, now I'm getting hurt. Oh.
Health critical.
That's not good. Let's go get healed up. If I stand here, I am not getting hurt. Back here. All the way back against the wall, where it seems. It hurts a lot. It's just very, very limited range. I wonder if I could put more welders? If that would be better? I mean, having a turret there would be good too. Let's go with security turret here, or in there. But I wonder if it would be able to see, because it would be set back so far. Let's see. Let's do this number, because I don't want to keep venting the ship. I have the plate. Just secure that. You're... Yeah. I put you here. That'll be good. And if I had the... It'll respawn you there. I don't know if that turret will set. mean, that should be able to see you pretty well. That should be good there. That's the only real place I can put. It's the back of the wall. I wonder if this range will kill you faster. This one probably won't have any effect. There we go. And if I put a hollow LCD down, so I want you up there, which would mean put in that little neon light to hang this up, and this guy project down. And I think that should be able to target you pretty well in there. I have to give it some ammo for sure, but I think it'll work. Let's come this way. I'm standing here. No damage. And stand back here. All the way back. I don't think that was any faster with 3 than it was 2. I think that turret should be able to get you all the same. I'll get rid of the welders then, because I don't think they're doing a good job. You can go off. And then I can put the projector right there. That should be okay for it. That is forward and up. So that should be appropriately placed. There we go. Some orange gold sparkles. You. And then you. And I also need a button on you. I wonder if this needs to be brighter. I don't know how much it'll look desaturated. I'll take that. Blueprint you. Transporter beam is now blueprinted. And projector, this projector. Let's go and take a look. We want to go this way. That's not going to move anywhere. So that'll be fine. Let's see what that looks like. That's pretty decent. Maybe it needs to be lighter. Lighter, maybe. Because it's probably too orange. Maybe it needs to be white. I really can't see the sparkles from the inside. But I don't guess that's for me to see. Can I? There we go. Although there is a lot of orange going on here anyways. More white. I think that'll make it look good. Let's do that. All right. I could dig that. Let's see. There's very orange in the background. Maybe I need to change. Let's take a look at some transporter beam, transporter room colors. I mean, transporters are usually a little more elevated. I could do something different. Lighter color panels in the back, perhaps. Desaturated. Not so orange. Maybe even blue. Got some blues, some greens. I mean, this fits more with the blue of everything else. So I already like it a bit better. That makes it pop a bit more. Okay, that makes it pop out. I like that. That's looking good. That's looking real good. And now I need that LED. You can't sit here or there or there. That's all I've got. That's all I've got for you. This can't sit anywhere else either. I don't know how else to hide you. You would have to be right there. I mean, if you were going to be anywhere, you'd have to be right there. Oh well, we'll leave that as is for now. I wanted to hide it, but that's not going to work. So it's not really the transporter bay that's killing you. It is the friendly turret over here. And I wonder, I guess I have to go get some ammo for it. So let's go. If I stood here, transporter is on. Shift I, control. I want turret. A control. Damn. This wall is in the way. So, as long as you're not hiding too much in there. Otherwise, I can put that in a better location. That's okay. We want the plate. We want the flat white. We want to do it from this side. Good. We can come in here. That's a nice place for our tart to go. Got you and your magazine too. And come over here and we can drop our tart. I'll have to rename him again, but we should be good there. And then I can even put the LCD in here, because now you sit there, but I need you. Well, I need the LCD components again too. Interior plate. But looks like I'll have to get that after the restart. This will make it more obvious, I think. I don't know if I want it to be obvious or not, but I'm going to make it obvious. Which way is that projecting? Good. I wonder if I can just make it font size, monospace, edit text, dupe. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. And then I will take that, and you, and you, and you, and you can be that color. This won't be enough materials, so I'll grab. So if you come in, pull my transporters up, go Shift-I, terminal, transporter security. We've got you set up, let's control. Oh, but I can't see. It probably can, though. It probably still can see. Because I don't want to just keep shooting over here. I don't even know what it's shooting at. I would hope that would be able to shoot through, but I can't see it. And it can't see it. So we'll have to test to see whether or not that will actually shoot. I think it will. Which means I need to get rid of this. I'll pull you and bent the ship again. Probably build the ship back. Yeah, there we go. One of you gets to be a hole, but I will come around this way. So if I made this the oxygen tank, I can go get... you're not going to be airtight, are you? This is in fact not airtight. Take that. There we go. What about H2O2 generator? You should be airtight, I would hope. And I'm not seeing it be airtight. No, that's not airtight either. Well, you say we're good to go. We just can't be out of oxygen, right? Everything's empty, and I've smoked them. I don't have any ice left. So, this says we're good. I'm going to take that as we are good. Therefore, this will get a cap on it now. Access cap. That way I can have access in there. I want to do the same thing over here, but I've killed all of our oxygen supplies, so we'll have to go get more ice. You're just a button panel. I guess I don't have to worry about venting the ship anymore because there's nothing left. But we do need to go fix that. So that is an urgency. Yeah, because I don't have anything left. I blew all of our oxygen and there's no more ice left, so I need you to hop in a seat so we can go get closer to an ice source.
Okay, I'm in a cryo.
Alright, thank you, sir. I'm going to jump the ship. Iron, ice, let's go. And we have arrived. Yep, there we go. So, ship is refueling with oxygen. Let's go and find a place for some tanks. You should be a safe place. So let's cut this down. And put an oxygen tank. Because this room is mostly white, which is good, I guess. I don't know if I want these floors to be a different color. Kind of, but not really. I mean, the only way to see is to do it, which would mean I'd want all of the furniture to be blue. I kind of want the furniture to stay white and floor to stay blue, but all the floor would have to change. I mean, if I've got that here, let's put another LCD in. Over here, let's do it all in white first. That could be interesting. Because I really only have space for so much table in here. Let's put table. Don't want that table over there. I could do it super big table, or I could just do. No, that'll be okay. We're just lagging. About to say the ceiling is messing me up because it's a half plate, but it's not. It was the server lagging. Let's just do. Corner. And then projector table in here. That way you can have, or do I want the projector table the other way? And you could have stuff over there, and you could have like your presenter here. I could even put in a half plate to make the table look more full, or the whole half block. Whole half block is too much. What about, you're not enough, you're too much as well. Well, that sucks. Tables are just not the right height. I don't have a full table. We'll come back. So I don't like it being cut off, but I don't like another LCD there either. Everywhere else the floor is blue. You just come in here, blue floor. I'm liking that. And blue wildless floor. It looks like that's what we're going to be. Because now the white furniture makes sense. But if I come this way, well, this is plated anyway, so I can change that easily. And then everything else can just be the white color with the blue floor. Let's change this room to see if I like it too. I mean, that looks pretty good too. I hate that I like it because now I have to paint everything. That's... which means I need to go back to the bar and repaint everything too. Drat. I think that makes this space look better with the blue floor. Pristine. I like that. Up here. This is also looking good. I put the blue floor in. I like that a lot. I like that a lot. And then medical room also taken care of, which is good. Downstairs. I want to leave that gray color. And I think this one's going to be the problem. Because there's not a lot, or there are some spots that are actually exterior. Actually, it looks like a lot of this might be exterior. So we will vent the place again. Yep, that's exterior. Let's see. It shouldn't be a big problem. I mean, I could plate it. I don't want to, but I could. Or I can build the shape up a little bit more, which is probably the more reasonable thing to do. But I will have to save that for another time. Because we're about out of PCU. Oh yeah, we are tragically low on PCU. And we'll have to be wrapping this ship up one way or another. Try to do this as best I can here without having to do that. So if I'm going to call that one my actual wall, it's going to be visible from the other side as such as well. Well, come over this way and let's see what we can do for interior space. I could use that bit over there, but I don't think I want to. just come, I guess it'll be back 2 pieces. I could put flat walls over here, and I may do that. Well, it's going to use the same space anyways. No. I just want like a little lab in here. So that might actually be it for me there. Let's mix those. Pull those around, and then this one over here. We're just keeping these white strips in there for some of the walls, if not most of them. That's looping around. Let's actually put the flat pieces over here. And then we'll grab our floor color. It's nice weldless blue. Flop over to our appropriate floor. And then I'll start placing the floor so I'll have the ability to put whatever I want inside the actual room cube itself. And we'll come this way, and that way this whole area should be secure. Just a couple extra plates so we have points of contact. And then that should also keep us nice and airtight in here too. Not that I need to go into that overlap, but I did in a couple different places, just so it doesn't fall apart. And next we'll want... I'm not going to have the ability for much of a roof. If anything, it would just come up and over. And this right here is actually
Energy low.
our transverse beam here. And if I'm making that the door, that just happened to be that way. I honestly wasn't paying attention there. We can do this. We'll grab that piece. You can go there. And we should have more than enough light coming through. But just in case, these need to be not red. They need to be my nice dark. And this light on this side, this way. That should work us out there. Let's put in our wall. It went like so. And like so. And then this will have nothing. That's fine. And then we'll have our final pieces over here. And these can just be this guy. That should fill me in just nicely. So this red one right here is where I'm at. So if I blast through there, I should be able to come in and not lose the air tightness. So looking at the air tightness I've got right now, fingers crossed, and we didn't lose it, which means that this whole space was airtight nicely. And now we need to get plastic. So let's draw from you and place there. Oh, that was pure luck. This just happened to be oriented in the correct way. Pure luck. And that way I can just make this look like it's a doorway to a room without having to spend 115 PC for it. Voila. And server restart. That's how it usually is. Start recording, ready to do something, and then server restart. So this is a rather large room. I could probably do something on the other side too, but I'm not going to have a whole lot of time at the moment. See what we have to work with in these spaces. So this is the other side of the hallway. This is where we had just made our other room. So if we come through, just on the other side of it, we would be up around here. And probably not going to be able to make that work, because we've got our engineering space just beneath, and I don't want to mess with its ceiling, and we've got our bridge just above, and I don't want to mess with that floor. So further down the hall here, right before we get to our lounge and cafeteria area, there's room for more space, or there's space for more rooms. And we can put stuff in here. Just so I can have like tiny personal quarters or double quarters or something like that. A couch. These beds are pretty large. And you can't see through them, so I could actually replace that with a couple of beds. Be very small, but you have a pair of quarters. Don't really want it right there, because that would be the door. I mean, it could be just that tight in there. So I might actually just do that. We'll see how that looks. And then I would need a piece over here and then some plates underneath. And that would make that room. And then if I had another door just next to it here, I could block out these two as well. So let's do that. So that should seal up those spaces. You're not going to have a lot going overhead. Nothing going overhead, really. So let's take that as saying, hey, that's all there's going to be to it. Everything up there should be airtight, so this is actually pretty effective at being sealed off with very few blocks. At least it should be. Yeah, because those bed pieces are going to be airtight. That should make everything else airtight. But I do see our beam. You go this way. Oh, we're good there. And we're also good here. Nope. Something vented. This block needs to be different. But with the server restart coming up, I'll take a rest in the new quarters. Stare at the sky as the reset goes by. And let's look for where our leak might be. We should be good above and below, and should be good through the side. So I really don't understand why. That is a great question. I should also put in, that's the one, these insets. Okay, if that's functional, that's all I need. That's good. And whatever that did actually sealed the space. So there's some sort of space in between there. I wonder if it's with these new beds. That very well could be these lockers too. But it does look like we've sealed that up, so that looks pretty good. There we go. Now we got some rooms, and we've got a little science lab I want here. And I wanted something interesting for here. So I'm thinking I need a table or something. Actually, how big is small grid glass? It's gonna let me do it. That should be big enough. So if I do, I want a table. Let's start with that. I don't know if I want a corner table for it, because that would be facing that way anyways. Or if I want it to be, I want to put the spider plushie on glass and see how that would look. So if I put that there, how would I get the spider plushie on glass? If I do, because that's going to be 4 around. The magnet's not going to be big enough because it's B1. I mean, I could just mount a spider, I think. And where was I? I was over here, was thinking about science lab and what I needed for a spider on glass. Because I don't want it to be too big. How big is... That's what I was looking at. The glass. That's going to be massive. It'd be really hard just to sit right on here, too. The only other thing I could think of is I could block this off with the light covering it like a display, which wouldn't be bad either. So I can just put right there. I will bet this doesn't want to be... Probably have to put the glass in place, then do this, because the glass wants to sit there, and it's going to note that there are things in the way, right? Okay, it doesn't care. So that is good. I don't know if it's going to go away if it doesn't have a battery. So I'll put that. I'll just build in yellow now. 2 blocks. We should probably make it 1 more, because it's about a block high, but I need this to go down, because I'll need to very carefully get directly above that, and then press it down. Because it's just floating there right now. Or, let's do this. Terminal. Oh, we are not a convert to ship. There we go. Still in control. There we go. Server caught on, and now we're stopped. It looks like we're still moving somehow. So let's go info, back to ship, back to station. Okay, cool. So what we did there is we placed those blocks, and then I took remote control of the ship and just went up. So we went up because we were part of everything, but the blocks here were quote-unquote floating in space, so they did not move, and they just got placed down. These blocks are also not affected by any kind of artificial gravity I've got going on. So is my artificial gravity at 1 there, and it did not affect these blocks, and it wouldn't. Let's make this... Ooh. Can I get you to sit there? Yes. You come over? No. And if I made this half piece. I don't know how much I can get away with this. Well, this is looking good so far. 8 sharp piece there. Just want my little table to look a little bit better. And I think I can make this wood. And it should be alright. Wood, let's go find a red, and we want wood. Boo. Yeah, not in my face. Wood, red, and let's bring this down. Find ourselves a nice wood color. Do I want a rich wood, or do I want, you know, more of a dark wood? I think that looks pretty neat. Let's see that. I was almost about to do the mass paint, which I could easily do here. I just don't want to miss or the game mess up somehow and it'd be like, oh, you want your whole ship to be this color? Like, no, I don't. Not this close to the end. Definitely not. And then, let's see here. Let's get plushy. Let's get you more vibrant of a color. I kind of like that. That yellow makes you look more dangerous. Okay, so those are good, and let's... I could actually put glass around them, but I'll just put them behind glass. There we go, now you can see them easily. Let's take this down, and let's put a science station of some sort. That, or I could put a button panel, something in here. I'll leave it as is. I will leave that as is. Blech. Cannot talk. Okay, so that looks good. I'm happy there. So those are good. And then I could do the same thing with laboratories over here, kind of. Because I have a much larger space over here. Or I could put whatever I need to. So we have our airlock system. We come through. I almost don't want it to be two separate things. This should be fine as like a single big lab where they've got a lot of science stuff going on. So let's take out you. And you can be the doorway. What's this? Nope, Shift B, please. Alright, fills that. And once you come in, you can do interior corridor, because I am in between those, so I don't have to worry about them. Go here. Then I'm going to go back to plates. This blue. Well, this blue, because I don't actually need these big half pieces everywhere. How big do I want this? I can use the archways to go up and over with 8 walls. And then I can leave a space in there, and that's echoing what I did on the med bay. That's kind of what I want, because this is the opposite side of there. So I want a wall coming through here, or I can even just use those blocks as part of the background too, which could also work. Kind of depends on how these floors seam together. So let's see how those work. Let's get some white walls. And this is what I have coming down the sides. I almost want to press it all the way out here so I can have outdoor access too, and I think I will. So you can go there. This... Let's go back, because we have to go to the med bay anyways. Because that room was 3 wide, and I just had a pseudo wall going up. 2 or 3 wide. Yeah. So we're 3 wide, and we've got the one space in between, and then we had another branch piece come off for the office to carry around the height and close it down. So we'll do this down there. What do I want in here? I can leave these computers here. I can do more science stuff. These are all beds and couches. I mean, I could do... a couple of desks against the computer core. Why not? That'll look like science stuff there. And what if we had... I mean, that could look alright. Fills up the space at least. Something else I was thinking of is the inset button panels for computer terminals. Let's go to buttons. So I have this. And that could be science looking. You can come in, have that there. You can have this button panel. So if we had you sit here, I could do another lab station, I think. On the back side, because it's blank. And then you could be like this, and another one. I could have one or the other, or I could have both. Let's take both. That looks interesting. That whole back wall will be interior wall sets, so I don't mind. And then what down here? I almost want something similar to this again, but this is actually going to be exterior wall bits. Yeah, cut that. Because I don't know if I like the portholes on the other side. I've been mulling them over since I put them in, because you've noticed there were no other windows until I did the front. And those front ones are growing on me too. Just have those windows and then these windows, so there's 2 pairs going through there. And I can make a fake pair on the other side just so it's the same. Oh, we're back airtight again. Fantastic. And this room still needs a bit of something. I don't know what, though. It almost looks like it should end here, honestly, just because I've got it nice looking there. What else could go in? I guess I could do that setup here, and then maybe a couple of LCDs. So let's do another lab. Just do that. That. Oh, they were facing the lab.
Inventory.
That should still be good. Oops, here goes all that air again. Because that's a bad part about working with these plates, is that they, or the panels rather, that they are easily breached. And then they just vent everything else on top of that. Some more lab equipment. That looks good. I'm gonna think of more LCD things to put in here. Get these text panels. Here and there should be good. Or I can even separate it one. That should be okay. I almost want to change this to be a diagonal. That's fine. I was thinking, though, I've got the porthole looking ones. Is it these sets? This set. Viewport ones. I'll just put these guys in here. That's what I've got on the other side, on the interior, so I might as well. I almost want to make this do an edge corner up. Is that what happened over here? I could think half a step ahead and stop that, because I know I'm going to vent the ship. When I rip out, it would be both of these, yeah. You're an exterior piece. Oh, look at that. I put panel out there, so it wouldn't even do it anyways. But I wouldn't have known, because I would have just ripped through. All according to plan. That way that looks a little nicer. This can come out, and this can come out. I can do 8. Let's do you. That way we can have a nicer transition there. And how about that? A little bit of thoughtfulness as I go around. But this thing is 34,000 PCU. She's too big and too slow. So she's definitely not swift, and she's not covered in guns, so she's not Thistly either. So this is a fake craft for sure.
Like you said, it's a good thing you didn't make out of heavy armor.
Oh yeah, then I would never be done with it. I think I'm at the point right now where I'm just going to park it near the alien planet. I'm not sure if Splitsy's done with his stuff, but I would imagine he's coming up on near the end of it, and I was just planning on parking this somewhere and then be done. So I think I'm done building it. See, I just need big LCDs for
Took a
things.
tour of it yesterday. It looks pretty damn good.
Yeah, I just need to spend, I guess, building is done. I just need to put LCDs or stuff on the LCDs in the places. And that should be it. I don't think there's a whole lot left to do here. I'm probably going to put some joke ones of Zap Brannigan quotes in places to kind of seal the deal with the whole dupe thing. But other than that, it's pretty much done as far as I'm going to do on it. Until next time, go forth and build great things. See you then.